Oh, did not know I had my mic off. Okay, well, since my mic is on, vitamins. Oh, I got two people. Hello, everybody. Two people. Hey, starting. Thank you. Thank you, OG Adam Westish. I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I'm really sorry. Um, please forgive my appearance. I'm not the best looking woman in the world. Oh, I did pronounce it right? Okay. Hey, thumbs up for me then. Hope you don't mind if I put on some makeup while I do this because I really don't like appearing on camera without my makeup on. And I didn't expect anybody to show up. So, so please forgive me. Uh, nice to have nice to have you here, OG Adam, and I guess there's somebody else uh, with you. They just haven't introduced themselves yet, but thank you for coming. Um, anything you want me to talk about? Because right now, the two things that I can talk about the most is I can't believe I'm going to say this politics and anime. Those are the two subjects that I am relatively kind of knowledgeable about. So, um, if you want, that's what I'll talk about. And if you are okay with that, just say yes. And also tell me which topic you want me to talk about, politics or anime, because I might deviate and I might go off into both. So, uh, OG Adam, if you're still here, tell me what you want me to talk about. If you're still here. Hmm. Okay, well, I see two people. I'm just going to go with politics for now because that's all we all seem to be talking about. Huh? I'll just talk about what you're knowledgeable. Okay. Um, here's something that's been floating around in this little brain of mine. Um, when it comes to Trump and his policies, Oh yeah, he bothers me, all right. When it comes to wait, hold it. Where the Oh, here it is. Whew, my foundation. Um, can't have can't go on without this. When it comes to Trump, I see him like I see when it comes to his policies, like a character in my mom's favorite movie. And I'm going to be talking about my mom a lot because my sister and I lost her last year. Uh, we had her. Hold on a second. This is my sister right now. I'm gonna take the last two Oreo cookies. Go for it. I still got my smoothie, so have at it, Hoss. My sister wanted the last Oreos, so I told her to take them. uh, our mom passed away last year, and she passed right at the start of the holidays. In fact, a week after my sister's birthday. And burying somebody during the holidays is rough. It really, it's really, really rough. I mean, you'll never look at the holidays the same way ever again. And that's one of the reasons why I can't get behind this stuff with Luigi, which is another topic for another time, which I'll probably get to a little later. Hey, Nate, long time no see. Hey, sweetie, happy holidays to you too. Uh, I'll get to him in a moment at some point. But getting back to my mom, one of her favorite things was this movie called Auntie Mame. It's a movie made back in, I think, the late 50s, early 60s, and it starred a great comedic actress named Rosalind Russell. You're welcome, Nate. And it's a movie. Actually, it was a book first, but it was a movie about um, this socialite. Oh, you do? Thumbs up. You have great taste, Adam. uh, um, it's a movie, so you should know about this socialite from the Roaring Twenties who gets to adopt her nephew because her brother, I can't remember if the brother was older or younger. I don't think it said, but or if it might have been the book. But her brother had passed away, and in his will, he left his young son in her care. And this was during the late 1920s. And Auntie Mame was a basically an eccentric bohemian type. She would be like the goth girl of the 1920s, you could say. You know, if goth girls and guys existed at that time. They probably did, but just in a different form. But that's what she would have been like. So she was very much an eccentric, and she was very rich. And and even though she was eccentric and very rich, she was also very single. Although she had suitors, but she was very single, and motherhood she knew nothing about. So she gets to adopt her nephew, Patrick, and she gets her nephew right in the middle while homegirl is partying. I mean, she is partying up the yin yang. I mean, she got all kinds of people at this party. I mean, you looked at the party scene and I was like, damn, I wish I had been there. I wasn't even born yet, but I was like, damn, now that's a party. I mean, she had like all kinds of men and women, and she had gay guys and gay girls, and she had people drinking and dancing, and and that kind of stuff, and she had like Hindu guys like naked and meditating and laying on beds of nails and all kinds of weird ass shit. One of those things that just says, yeah, now that's a party. But anywho, she gets this guy, she gets this kid in the middle of this party. Yeah, they weren't acceptable, but in Maine's time, she welcomed everybody. And I do remember that there was a pair of lesbians in that party scene. I remember that. But anywho, she gets Patrick. Hey, old school. She gets Patrick in the middle of this party, and the Patrick's nanny also comes with them, and she's like this Irish maid with this heavy Irish accent, and she's like, Faith and Bigora, she's just looking at all this stuff, and she's like, how you don't know, Patrick, we really seem to be in a den of hell here. And and then Auntie Mame shows up, and she's like, I'm your Auntie Mame, and he's just flabbergasted by this. So, anywho, the party winds down, and she gets to know Patrick, and she has to learn that she has to put him in school. And she puts the kid in school, but it's not a conventional school. And I don't even want to talk about the type of school that Patrick went to, because one of the things that they had to learn that day was called fish family, which usually happened after yogurt time. And what that school was, you couldn't show that scene today. And I'm not even going to go into the particulars about that scene, but I saw it back then, and it freaked me out, and it still freaks me out every time I think about it. But the schooling is another story for another day. So, well, anywho, uh Patrick's trustee, this, conservative guy, he finds out about the school that Patrick went to, and he's very pissed off. And he puts Patrick in St. Boniface, which is a parochial school, which I know all about because I did my time in parochial school. I went through K through 12 through that bitch. And yeah, I did hard time, but that's another story again for another day. So during all of this time that Mame is taking care of Patrick, uh, the stock market crash happens, and she learns that she's broke. And her snooty friend Vera, who's an actress from New Jersey, said, and everybody thought I was crazy for investing in diamonds. But anywho, Mame is broke, and there's this great scene. It's I'm sorry, it's racist as hell, but it's also extremely funny because Mame has this Chinese butler. And forgive me, but every time I see it, I can't help but laugh. The Chinese butler picks up the phone because the phone rings, and he says to me, forgive me, but he says, hello, Missy Dennis, stockbroker called. He want to say hello before he jump out a window. So it's wrong. It is. Yeah, you're right, Adam. It couldn't be. But the scene, it is so wrong by 21st century standards. But it's incredibly funny because it's making fun of the two things that you should never make fun of. You really, really shouldn't. But that scene just cracks me up. But anyway, she finds out from her stockbroker before he jumped out the window. And yeah, a lot of people did jump out of windows when the stock market crashed in 1929. Y'all should have learned about it in history class if you did. I know I did. But anywho, um, she learns that she's now broke and she has to get a job. Thank you. Thank you, OG Adam. Thank you for coming. I was just there and I decided to try this out because I didn't think anybody was going to show up, but I'm just testing the waters here with this. So, getting back to Annie Mame, she has to go to work. And she gets a job at Macy's. And she's a salesperson. And for some reason, I don't know who trained her. Hey, we're all shy in this planet we call life. This world we call life. We're all just trying to get by every single day. That's all we can do. But she gets a job at Macy's, and I don't know who trained her, but she doesn't know how to ring up sales. She only knows how to ring up one type of sale, which is cash on delivery. And I don't even know if cash on delivery exists anymore. So she's ringing up sales with COD. And this guy comes along, this handsome guy. And he says that, well, I want to buy 20 pairs of roller skates. And I'm buying them for my nieces, nephews, and little cousins. And she's like, okay, sir. Well, here, let me just ring you up with COD. And he's like, well, no, I don't want to do that because I don't think their Santa would they would appreciate it if Santa showed up there with their door with roller skates with a bill for cash on delivery. And she was like, oh, well, how do you want to pay? Well, I just want to pay with cash. Cash? During the Depression? Now remember, this is the late 1920s, and the stock market has crashed, and we're in a depression. And I think Hubert Hoover was president around that time. I gotta look that up. But anywho, money is scarce. It's very, very scarce. But this guy, he just happens to be rich. And he wants to buy 20 pairs of roller skates. And at that particular time, roller skates was very, very cheap. So I don't know what the price was in 1920s time. I just know that you can go to a movie for a nickel back then, because that's one of the things my mom told me. But anywho, I'll just say the roller skates was like $1. So he wants to buy 20 pairs of roller skates, $1 each. That's $20, and then you got to factor in tax and all that kind of good stuff. But Mame doesn't know how to do it. She don't know how to ring up sales. She only knows how to ring up one type of sale, cash for delivery. And he says to her, well, first of all, he becomes behind her counter, which a customer is not supposed to do. And he takes her, COD booklet, which is a shambles, because it got all kinds of papers and carbons and stuff all over the place. And it's just horrendous looking. And he said, well, first of all, you got to get all your triplicates and duplicates together and all this other kind of good stuff. And then while he's doing that, Mame's manager comes up and he's like, what is going on here? And he said, well, I'm just trying to help this little sales lady make this sales. And he said, well, and he says to Mame, well, why are you having trouble? And he said, well, was there anything unusual about the sale? And she said, yeah. He wanted to pay cash. What do you mean he wanted to pay cash? He wanted to pay cash for these roller skates. Okay, well, go ahead and do it. And she's like, well, I don't know how. And he's like, wait, how? Wait, huh? Who? What? How are you a salesperson and you don't know how to ring up cash? Okay, it's Christmas season. It's busy. Ring it up a credit. Well, I don't know how to do that either. You don't know how to ring up cash. You don't know how to ring up credit. What can you ring up? Can you do money? I don't know how to do that either. You don't know how to do money order? Can you do check? No. What can you do? COD. You mean to tell me you're working for me and the only thing you know how to do is ring up COD? Yes. And of course, she's fired. And I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. I mean, as much as I rang up sales, like my first job when I was working at West Coast Video, renting movies and selling CDs, because my video store had a CD department. I mean, damn, all you had to do was someone comes up to you, hey, I want to buy Depeche Mode Violator. Okay, here's Depeche Mode's Violator. Okay, how much is it? It's $12.99. Okay. Factor in tax, that's $13.77. I still know how much that was back then. And this was back in 1990. I rang up so many CDs at $12.99 that I still know to this day, 30 years later, that the sales tax came to $13.77. I got that memory in my memory locked. It's never going anywhere. But anyway, anyway, 13.77. Give them $20. Give back about, I don't know, $5 or $6 worth of cash. Give them the receipt. Go about your business. They can go on, listen to Depeche Mode Violator. I can go back to work, listen to the same album. A good time is had by all. But for some reason, this woman don't know how to ring up cash. And she gets fired. Yes, Violator is my all-time favorite Depeche Mode album. It made me the woman I am today. And I'm going to say this again, but yes, that's another story for another day. Back to Annie Mame, because I get sidetracked like a bitch. But anywho, Annie Mame goes home and she's upset because she don't know how she's going to give her little family, which is her nephew, her maid, Nora, the Irish maid, her Chinese butler. They're her little family. She don't know how they're going to give them Christmas. And for some reason, the rich guy who was buying the 20 pairs of roller skates for his little nephews and nieces and cousins, the little nippers as he calls them, he got out a phone book, a Yellow Pages, and yes, Yellow Pages did exist then. Ask anybody over 50 if they know what a Yellow Pages was, and they should tell you. And he found the name Mame Dennis in the book. And he finally found her and he wanted to apologize. And he said, I tried to tell those people that they was wrong, that a woman in your capacity should be like an executive, not working behind no damn cash register. And he's like, well, how about if I take you all out to dinner, my treat? And she's like, oh, no, I can't do that. We can't impose. And she's like, oh, please, it's not a problem. I mean, well, it's the Depression. Everybody's broke. Oh, well, not me. You see, I'm from Texas and I'm in oil and it just keeps gushing. Cha-ching! so, so Mame and her little family decides to go out with this guy, and they're about bread with Beauregard Jackson Pickett Burnside. I remember that name. A rich, wealthy businessman who is in oil in Texas, and he marries her. And that's a part of the whole Auntie Mame story for the few of you who are here. But see, I relate all that to Trump, and maybe I'm just doing one of his weaves. Although, as messy as this weave is, it's a whole lot better than his weaves. And yeah, I got to get my hair done. But I related to Trump in the fact that, like Auntie Mame, Trump doesn't know how to do anything in government except tariffs. It's like the only thing he knows. His tariffs is Auntie Mame's COD. That's it. He don't know how to govern. He don't know how to do anything. Somebody, thank you. It'll do nothing but enhance the rich. And there are people who keep saying, oh, well, this will just force people to buy American. Yeah, but how can you buy American when just about buy and make American with just about everything that we use comes from other countries? I mean, look, I got a bottle of mouthwash in my bathroom right now that's made from Canada. It's made in Canada. I got a tube of toothpaste that's made in Mexico. Those two countries are two of our biggest traders. When you put tariffs on something, people, the MAGA people think, oh, well, because he's putting a tariff on the other country should be picking it up. No. No, it doesn't. When you put a tariff on something, and I totally forgot about the scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off until I saw it, until it came up in my YouTube feed. I was like, oh yeah, the tariff thing. And I did remember a little bit of tariffs from high school because of the name Smoot Hawley. I mean, come on. Who in the hell has a last name of Smoot? That is also like that 1377. That's also locked in my head. I never forgot the name Smoot Hawley because that was a tariff bill during that particular time of Auntie Mae's time. And it did not help the economy. It bankrupted the economy. And on top of that, if a if a if a company is buying something, say like this, okay? One of my favorite stuffed animals. Okay. This company is going to sell this hedgehog for like $20. Well, more than $20, but let's just say $20 out of China. Okay. Tariffs put on China. Extra money is put on this doll in order to get them not only out of the country, but just off the damn truck and into the store. An additional tax, let's say, I don't know, I can't really figure up tax, but let's just say extra money is going to be put on this doll. So now this doll has gone from being $20 to $25. Do you really think the company that bought this doll to bring it into the store, which was a CVS, by the way, because that's where I got this doll, do you really think that CVS is going to take the loss of that extra $5? No, they are not. That extra $5 is going to go on this doll, and this doll has gone up from $20 to $25. So, whatever we go to buy from any company that has a tariff on it from that country that it's made from, we're going to end up paying extra. And with the tax cuts that he plans on proposing, and he said it himself. There is a YouTube video that has him at Mar-a-Lago saying, if you vote for me, if you put me back in the White House, I'm going to make you all very rich, just like I did last time, and we're going to make a whole lot of money. He said that. He actually said that. And stupid ass MAGAs, I don't know where their heads are. I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. They believed him. They believed him when he said that he was going to lower gas prices. They believed him when he said that he was going to lower grocery store prices. They believed all that crud that he said that he was going to do, and they gave him his vote. And what happened? He now comes out saying that, well, it's going to be hard for me to lower prices. But wait a minute. What was with all that damn John you did on the campaign trail talking about how on day one grocery prices is going to come down? You know, because what you kept hearing, but eggs though, eggs are so expensive. Yeah. So why would you put the fool back in the White House who made things even more expensive the first time around, making them expensive the second time around? Especially when you stop and think about it, that the ones who's bumping up the prices are the corporations. You see, corporations are slick. They have been bumping up the prices on all of our goods ever since the pandemic hit. And they have been price gouging ever since, because even though the pandemic has been, it's leveled off. I mean, I don't think it's ever truly gone away, but it has leveled off, and it's not like the way it used to be. The corporations are still price gouging. They're price gouging. And that's why things are so expensive. That's why eggs are expensive and gas is expensive and all that kind of stuff. But yet and still, some of the prices have gone down little by little. Like I've noticed in my neighborhood where my sister goes to get gas, for the past year, the gas prices has been somewhere between 2.95 and 3.15. They sometimes go up just a little bit more than that, but they have been leveled between those two areas, that particular one that she goes to. And then I've noticed the other ones that she goes to, some of them are the same price, some of them are a little higher, but where she goes, it's usually sits somewhere around the 2.95 part of prices, which isn't too bad, but still it is kind of expensive. But she does get a little bit of bang for her buck. But anywho, it's these corporations that's been price gouging. And if we had kept Kamala, if we had elevated her from vice president to president, she was going to take on those corporations, because Biden had, I think he had tried to do the same thing, but it didn't. I mean, I guess he had so much that he couldn't take them on fully, but it was going to be up to her to pick up where he left off and fight the corporations for price gouging the American people. They're the ones who's doing this. So that's why Trump has been saying that he can't lower prices. Well, it's also not just that because he can. It's not just because he can't lower prices, but you stop and think about it. He's friends with some of these corporations that own this stuff. I mean, do you really think he wants to piss them off and make them angry? I mean, these are his friends, by the way. I'm quite sure the same person who owns the Acme supermarket that I used to go to when I was a kid in my old neighborhood is probably one of his bestest buddies, you know? So, of course, he doesn't want to offend. He wouldn't want to offend his friends, because, after all, he's going to give them the tax breaks that they want so much. And it just angers me. It really, really angers me that there are people who just can't see that. I mean, another thing that bothers me about this whole mess is when it comes to immigration. Now, look, I admit that yes, I want people to come into this country, legally, to go through the whole process of becoming an American citizen. In fact, I went to a friend of mine, a really dear, nice guy, really sweet kid, who wasn't born here, uh, but he went through all the steps and he became an American citizen. And he invited me to his swearing in ceremony, and I watched. And I was so happy for him and so proud of him for doing this. And now it's like I'm wondering, with all this talk about I'm hearing denaturalization, and every time I see him in my Facebook post, I want to bring it up, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I'm so worried that my friend's naturalization could be taken away from him. But then again, I don't think he has much to worry about because he was born in Israel. I don't know. I don't know if they would take his naturalization away from him. But I do know I've been hearing a lot of talk about if you are Latino, your naturalization is going to be taken away from you. And I really don't understand that. I don't get that. I mean, if the there's all this talk about illegal immigrants. Yes, everyone should come here the legal way and do it the right way. I get it. But, why take it away from those who did just that? Number one. And number two, also, when you really stop and think about it, those who are the powers that be, like Trump and his family, his people, were immigrants. I don't hear anything about Melania's naturalization being taken away from her. I mean, she's going to be first lady again, right? But she came in as an illegal immigrant. In fact, she was doing a lot of her modeling while she was an illegal immigrant. But I'm not hearing anything about her naturalization being taken away. For all intents and purposes, Elon Musk is an African. He is also an immigrant. I don't hear anything about President Musk's naturalization being taken away from him. And he's from one of those dark skinned countries. But he just happened to, as the late great Paul Mooney says, has a complexion for the protection. But the thing of it is, with people like Trump, who stoke and fan the flames of racism when it comes to illegal immigrants, you all did this. The people that I come from, African Americans, we were stolen. Let's be honest. We were stolen. We were kidnapped. They did every kind of brutal, horrible thing to us. But we found a way to survive. When these people came to this country, there was already an indigenous group here. But they had their land taken from them. Some of them had their land taken from them through means of greed, and some had their land taken from them through means of disease. But they lost their land. These same people who talk about, well, this country is mine, is it really? Is it really yours? Plus the fact that you all have been promoting this idea of America being a melting pot for years. I mean, we all remember that little skit from Schoolhouse Rock that showed America as a melting pot. We all remember that. It was you all who promoted that idea. So you're the ones who promoted that idea, and now you want to take that very same idea away? It doesn't it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. How is it a group of people come to this country, they kidnap one group of people, take them away from their own land, they slaughter another group of people, the original people who lived here, who was here before anybody else, but then claim that this land is mine and I'm going to do what I want. But I'm going to promote this idea of, yes, we're open to everyone, but not really everyone. And then when you feel there are too many of the others that are here, oh, well, we have to stop that. We have to stop it from the southern border. No one's talking about the northern border. No one's talking about all the other immigrants who came over from the old world. No one's talking about them, but it's the southern border. It's the southern border. That's what we need to concentrate on. But I just don't get it, because in a way, you all are immigrants also. So how do you bully one group, take them away from their home, bully another group who lived here and was their original home, and then claim it for your own, promote an idea of we're open to everyone, but then snatch that idea away when there's too many of a certain group, but then on top of it make the claim of zero tolerance for bullying. I just I just don't get it. I don't get it. I especially don't get it now that my mom isn't here to make sense of all of this. My mom, she was such a wise woman. She was so smart, genius in her own way. And she could make sense of all of this weird stuff that's going on. Even when she was sick and didn't feel like it, if she wanted to talk about something, she would be very, very honest. She would be brutally honest. And she would truly tell it like it is. She really would. But now that she's not here, I got to make sense of it on my own. And I knew this day was going to come, but I never felt that I just never felt it was going to come this soon. You know, I still thought I had time. And there was so much that I still wanted to talk to her about and ask her about. But I can't anymore. And now I got to figure things out on my own. I know my sister tells me that, I shouldn't concentrate so much on politics because, there's nothing that you can do about it, and you're going to drive yourself crazy. And yes, she's right, but I like to think that there is something that we could do about it. And we had a chance to do something about it, but we dropped the ball. And I just don't get it. How the hell do you know this man is an idiot? You know this man is stupid. You know this man is a racist. You know there is everything in the world wrong with this man. I mean, the man stared into an eclipse. The man wanted to nuke a hurricane. The man literally wanted to inject disinfectant or sunlight into the human body. See, it couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me because that woman, that lady doctor who was standing there when he said all this mess and he was talking about, oh, I was just kidding. No, you weren't. You were not kidding. Why you lie like that? You lie like a damn rug. You lying. You know damn well you were not kidding. You meant that shit. You meant that shit. You were talking about that shit. You had that shit in your head and you opened up your mouth and you said that shit in public like an overgrown fat fucking 5-year-old. And see, it couldn't have been me because I would have just pushed his ass out of the way and I would have got on the microphone and I would have said, please, people, don't listen to this man. Fuck this job. Don't listen to this man. He's going to get you all killed. No, Donald, you cannot put disinfectant in the human body. The human body does not have the same genetic makeup as a IKEA tabletop. It's not a marble kitchen countertop from IKEA, you damn fool. It's a human damn body. Why would you think some stupid ass shit like that? The man thinks like a fucking 5-year-old. The man is almost 80. 80. And he still thinks like he's in kindergarten. And you people put him back in the White House. You know this man is an idiot. You know he ain't right. You know he's not all there. You know that his faculties is not working. You all were sitting up there talking about Biden this, Biden that, Biden the other. Biden is old. Yes, his stutter has gotten worse with old age, but he's not that. He's not that thing. You take one bad debate performance and push him out the damn way, but you're going to allow this chump to be president again? The man who wanted to put disinfectant in a human body. Let me repeat that again for those in the back who did not hear me. The man wanted to put disinfectant into the human body. It was going to kill people left, right, and sideways. And he's going to sit up there talking about, oh, I was just kidding. No, you ain't. You was not kidding. He was not kidding. He meant that shit. And that's why he asked. And like I said, it couldn't have been me because I would have quit. I would have said, no damn job is worth this. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't want deaths of the millions of people on my head. There had to be poison control people to come out and say, please don't do what this man says. He should have been 2-5'd a long time ago. Somebody should have said, when he said that, somebody should have said, this man is not right. He's not mentally right. I don't care if only 2 people hear me, but I'm going to keep saying it. The man is not mentally right. And you know he's not right if he's going to keep getting triggered by little things. He got triggered during the debate because Kamala made fun of his small rallies. Crowd size is important to him. You want that as president? Someone obsessed with crowd sizes? You know the man is not right because he heard the President Musk jokes. He's heard them. And he's been upset and triggered about it. So much so that he had to say, well, I'm not worried because he's not from here. Doofus. You're claiming that you want to be a dictator on day one. You never stopped and thought that Elon Musk would think the same way? What do you think dictators do? They overthrow the last person who's in charge most of the time. Sometimes they get elected in by weird ways, but sometimes they get overthrown. You see, that's the problem with being a dictator or an emperor or royalty or even president for 4 years. You see, first of all, nobody has told him, or at least nobody has emphasized the fact that being president is a 4 year job, 8 if you're lucky. So somehow he managed to get his 8. But this fool wants to keep toying with the idea of running a third term, which hasn't been a thing since FDR passed, which was the whole reason why the whole third term thing was taken out, because FDR did, I think, 4 terms. And he was very sick and very old when he died in, in the White House. The problem with dictatorships or being a royal, especially when you look, in the old days, like the days of the Roman Empire and, and all that other kind of good shit. What was happening? Kings getting bumped off left, right, sideways. That's the problem with being a dictator. You always got to look over your shoulder. Putin looks over his shoulder all the time, but the man is he's just so brutal that nobody would dare it. But when he gets older, somebody will. That's also the thing about being a dictator. You stay in long enough, you get old. You get old, you get weak. You're not seen as the strong king that you used to be. That's the problem. That's one of the many problems with being a dictator. You always got to worry about somebody in the background just plotting, scheming, talking. You know, good example, Stephen Miller, for all of his creepiness. I think the man likes to torture tarantulas, for fun. I really do. And those little buggers really scare the heck out of me. I don't like looking at them, but I'm quite sure he likes doing that for fun. You know, there's just something about him that just reeks of animal abuse. But it wouldn't surprise me if Stephen Miller, is whispering behind the scenes. As much as he loves him some Trump, it wouldn't surprise me if he's getting old. He needs help. Oh yeah, yeah. OG. Oh, I'm glad you're still here. Yeah, they are. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I got that idea about Stephen Miller from when I watched that old show, Our Cartoon President by Stephen Colbert, which makes me wonder if that's going to start up again. I mean, that was a pretty funny show, but I not a second time around. I really don't. But anywho, they did make that joke about Stephen Miller abusing animals. And yeah, he just seems so creepy. I mean, he kind of looks like a new millennium version of Joseph Goebbels in a $500 suit. But when he goes home, you could just bet that he likes to pull the legs off of spiders, or he likes to, like skin snakes and try to make snakeskin gloves or snakeskin boots or some shit. And he just, everything about him just, ugh. That big bald head and those creepy eyes and the way he talks and the way he acts. I mean, just everything about him just, ugh. But yeah, I just got this feeling that if how can I put this? I mean, I just wish it would come out that there was actually election interference that could be proven this time. That could actually be proven. You know, I wish that something like that would happen, where this group of people, you know, a Hail Mary pass could be thrown right before January 20th, where Dark Brandon just will come out and just say, "Stop! I have an announcement to make. There will not be an inauguration because there has been proof that election interference has been found." And pull it out to the American people, tell them what happened, tell them that we're going to have a pause for, the next president and maybe even get a do-over, because it just doesn't seem right that the people who had sense not to vote for this fool should have to suffer because of him. Look, I love a great FAFO video. I love them. I've been watching all of them. I get my snack and my drink, and after my sister's gone to sleep, I put on YouTube. I fire up to YouTube and I type in FAFO, and I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off, eating my snacks. I love a good FAFO video. But why should I have to be a part of it? Hey, Susan, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. But like I said, why should I have to? I'm the one who had sense, and not just me. Other people too. You all here had sense. Glad you're doing great. You all had sense. You know who not to vote for. Why should we have to suffer because of what these idiots did? And now these idiots are starting to find out. Oh, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I voted against my own interest? Yes, you dumb nuts. You did. You did. You voted against your own damn self-interest. You stupid. But why do I have to be involved with you and your stupidity? It's the truth though. I mean, think about it. You knew we were in FAFO season when you had the story of the workers in, of course, my state, Pennsylvania, told, well, we can't give you a Christmas bonus this year. Well, why not? It's Christmas time. I need that Christmas bonus. I mean, they was flipping out like Homer Simpson on that very first Simpsons episode, the Christmas episode, when he found out he wasn't getting the Christmas bonus. They started flipping out. Well, why? And the boss had to tell him, well, we have to order more products before the tariffs start, and we have to use your money to do that. But I voted for Trump. Yeah, you did, didn't you? You did that. Congratulations. You played yourself. That's what happened. And then they sitting up there and they sitting up. Yeah, we gotta suffer for their stupidity. So they're sitting up there all pissed off and sad because they're not going to get their Christmas. They didn't get their Christmas bonus this year because the company had to use the money for the bonuses to buy the extra supplies and shit because the tariffs is going to be so damn heavy. And then it's not just them. Then you hear about Latinos who voted for Trump. Yeah, hey, I'll be watching. Maybe Gil Scott Heron is right. The revolution will be televised after all. But it's like the Latinos who voted for Trump talking about, well, he's only going to get rid of the bad people. He's not going to get rid of good people like me. And you believe that? If Trump was to see Jose, the criminal, and Manuel, the good guy, both walking down the street, he's not going to be able to see which one is the criminal and which one is the good guy. He's just going to see both of them. And of course, he's going to get rid of both of them because that's how bigots are. They don't care. All they care about is they want to get rid of people who aren't like them. Exactly. Exactly, Susan. You hit it. Nail on the head. You hit it. So I don't get that. I don't get when, okay, I felt bad, but another part of me couldn't help but laugh. I heard this story about this woman who was in a Walgreens, and there was, a line of people coming in to pick up their medicine, and she was in the line. And there's one guy, he was a veteran, and he had on all his Trump gear. He just proud as punch, because he got all his Trump gear. And he was told by the pharmacist, okay, well, since your plan is a part of the veterans plan with the pharmacy, we're not going to be carrying it next year. But hopefully you'll be able to get picked up by another pharmacy. And the guy got all pissed off, and he was like, but I voted for Trump. Yeah, you did. You did that, didn't you? You voted for him. Got all decked out in your Trump gear. You spent the $20 for the hat and the $30 for the shirt and whatever other merch he had for sale, along with tacky ass sneakers and Bibles, which I'm surprised God hasn't turned us all into pillars of salt at this moment. But he will at some point, mark my words. But you all bought all your Trump gear and you voted for him. And now you're finding out that he might cut the VA. Teachers down in Texas are finding out that their schools are. This coming from the man who says he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. It's like what my wise mom always say: when you got them dumb, keep them dumb. And she always said that. She said, Robin, mark my words. Remember this: when you got them dumb, keep them dumb. And that's what Trump does. Why do you think he says, I love the poorly educated? I mean, people should have been offended when he said that. They should have been like, what? They should have put a foot in there in his ass. I mean, just kicked his ass out. But no, clapping like trained seals, loving everything that he says, everything that he does. Exactly. Just giving him a foot in his ass. But no, they just clapping like trained seals, loving everything that he says. And I just couldn't believe it. And then when the election did happen, you know, for a good while, I was thinking history is going to be made. Nobody would be stupid enough to put him in the White House a second time around. One of the reasons why I got so pissed with the Young Turks, and I guess I should talk about them, was I stopped fucking with them a long time ago. Because there was a time when I was looking at a lot of their stuff. I was looking at the main show. I was looking at the damage report. I was looking at clips from Rebel HQ, and I was looking at and of course Dr. Rashad Ritchie. That was my daily thing. I watched that every day at 2:30. 2:30 to 4 o'clock. You couldn't get me to do nothing unless I had a doctor's appointment. And even if I had a doctor's appointment, I would still find a way to sneak in some Dr. Ritchie time. I watched everything that had to do with TYT for a while. And then after a while, I started tapering off. And I think what did it was when I stopped watching the main show, because there was something that was not right with these two, Cenk and Anna. Something was bothering me. And me too. I do hope they all leave also. And the thing that was bothering me the most was the fact that I get this whole, bash the right, but also bash the left, because I do admit that there is a lot about the Democratic Party that is messed up. I admit that. But I also know that they are not as bad as what's been going on with the Republican Party ever since the rise of Trump. Even if I had been a Republican, I had been a Democrat my whole life. I've voted Democrat ever since turned 18. And my mom, was the one who taught me the differences between Republicans and Democrats. But even with then, uh, um, even if I had been a Republican, I would have had to leave. I had to leave because the nonsense is ridiculous. And the funny thing is, there's other reporters that I have been watching that were actually Republicans, but ever since the rise of Trump, they said, "F this, I'm out. I can't deal with this." And two of them are Farron cousins from Fair and Balance, and Jesse Dollemore, and his wife. I forgot it. Brittany Page. Yeah, her. I don't watch her as much as I watch Jesse Dollemore, but I do watch her every now and then. Uh, um, they were Republicans themselves, and they said, "You know what? F this. I can't deal with them. I'm out. I can't deal with them." And they moved to the left. Now with Cenk and Anna, now I know for a long time ago that Cenk actually was a Republican once, because he did say that he was a Republican, but then he went to the left. But see, ever since all this stuff happened, and I knew from the beginning that something wasn't right with Cenk and Anna, because every time you turn around, I would watch a video that would be talking about, the title would be, Republicans get theirs. Oh yeah, and I get to her in a minute. uh Republicans are getting theirs. And I would watch the video, and I'm enjoying it. And then right when he switches and he's talking about, and the Democrats, and they do, and then the rest of the video is him hammering on the Democrats. And I'm like, okay, really? This is what we're doing? And then it wasn't just that. When it came to Biden, now, granted, I'll admit, was Biden the best president? No, he wasn't. But he's a lot better than the first and after trash that we're getting. He's better than this Trump trash. He's a whole lot better than him. You notice that whenever Biden did something that was good, that was right, and Chang and Anna had to talk about it. It was like you could literally see the souls just coming out of their mouths, you know. It was like painful for them to have to say anything positive about Biden and Democrats on the left. It was like hurting them physically. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How can you say that you're supposed to be on the left? How can you say that you're supposed to be a progressive and all you're doing is bitching and moaning and complaining about the people whose side you're on? And I said to myself, something isn't right about this. And after a while, I just stopped with the two of them. I just couldn't anymore. One of the things that used to bother me when I was in Dr. Rashad Ritchie's group was every time they showed Anna's "I don't care" commercial because she sounded like a shrill bitch. First of all, I didn't like her damn voice. She sounded like a fucking harpy. That's number one. Number two, her message was on point. It was the way she delivered it. And then it was a whole thing about, I don't care if you're Christian. She came off more about hating Christianity to me in that clip than she did about abortion rights. And yeah, she's an atheist and all that stuff. And she has the right to believe whatever she wants to believe. That's fine for her. But the thing that also bothered me about them is, and I do get that there's a lot of things when it comes to Christians that just isn't right the way we behave. I have a whole lot of stuff to say about Christianity and the Catholic Church and all that because I grew up in the Catholic Church, and there's so much that is wrong with the Catholic Church. I can go on and on and on, and I can't. And I should cut this out in about maybe 15 minutes or maybe 30 minutes. I'll have to see. But it's like the way she just came off, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And then I found out about something about her, which she has been public about. And I do feel sorry for her. Now, the fact that she was assaulted, that bothers me, that hurts. And the person who did that to her should be thrown under the jail, never to see the light of sun ever again. He should just be under the jail, period. But it almost feels like because that happened to her, then now all of a sudden, oh, crime is running rampant. When it's been proven that nationally violent crimes have been coming down. They've been coming down under Biden's watch. That doesn't mean that all violent crime is done. No, of course not. But it's not as bad as it used to be. But because this happened to her, she feels crime is rampant. So if it didn't happen to her, then I guess you would think that crime was low. So I think, so yeah, Susan, she is in it for the money. For them talking about the grift is real because they were the ones who started that whole thing, talking about this person a grifter is that person a grifter, the other person a grifter. To me, they're into the grift also, because for all their talk of, well, the Democrats didn't want to try and listen to anything that we had to say. Cenk, Biden had been saying when he was running the first time back in 2020, he said that he wanted to bridge the gap, that he wanted to work across the aisle, that he wanted both sides to find some type of common ground. You and Anna told Biden to kiss your ass. And yes, they did. They did. You know you did. You absolutely positively know you did. They told Biden to kiss my ass, kiss my feet, kiss everything. And now that Trump's back in, now, oh, we want to try and work across the aisle. You were just calling Trump a monster because of the pedophilia allegations, because he was besties with Jeffrey Epstein. The Jeffrey Epstein tapes prove that. And yes, I know there's other people, but the main one was Trump. We know that. He's using Jeffrey's plane. So, for all these Republicans out here talking about, oh, we have to save the children, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because you're full of it. You're so full of it, toilets are jealous because you don't give a damn about the children. Because if you did give a damn about the children, you wouldn't put somebody in the White House who was best friends with the world's biggest pedophile. And that's what Cenk did. He was calling Trump all kinds of monsters. He was saying he was all kinds of evil. But as soon as he gets reelected, oh, I want to try and work with him now. Really? Cenk and Anna are nothing but the Joe and Mika of YouTube. I said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it forever. Cenk and Anna are nothing but the Joe and Mika of YouTube. And Joe and Mika was a huge disappointment because I remember when January 2020, I'm old enough to remember when January 6, 2021 happened. And I remember that rant that Joe Scarborough had when they was breaking the windows and shit at the Capitol. I mean, the man was losing his mind because that used to be his home. He used to work there. That was his job. He was so pissed. But as soon as they find out Trump's reelected, they bend the knee. Now, I want to see where all this knee bending goes because, one of my old time favorite movies from back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s, is a movie called SLC Punk, Salt Lake City Punk, about these two punk rockers who were, you know, just being punk rockers, doing what punk rockers do. And it's a great movie. I didn't get into the sequel as much, but the first movie is pretty good. In fact, I might watch it again later on tonight. It was such a good movie. But for spoiler alert, one of the main characters grows up finally towards the end. Spoiler alert. And he decides to do exactly what he said he wasn't going to do and follow in his dad's footsteps, which was, go to college and become a lawyer so he could, work in the inside and fuck shit up while he's there. Okay. Basically, the Matt Gaetz move without all of the raping and drug use and diddling high schoolers and all that kind of shit. See, the problem with, I think, the people of the Republican Congress, the stars of the Republican Congress, the ones who want to fuck shit up, who want to break stuff up from the inside, it's like they're just breaking to be breaking. These people were put there because a group of people voted for them because they wanted to make their lives better. But they don't do any of that. They don't do anything to make their lives better. Instead, what they do is they just want to fuck shit up to fuck shit up because their whole idea is, well, if we fuck things up to the point where government isn't working, we can show the people that government isn't working. Yeah, but you're showing the people that government isn't working because you're not doing the actual work. You were put there to do the work to help the people, but you're not doing anything. What's the point of trying to break stuff up just for breaking, and you have no real plan to fall back on, and you have all these people's lives in your hands that you're supposed to help, but you're not helping. I mean, exactly, they're grifting. Again, all they're doing is showboating, grifting, making money off of their websites. You know, the minute they have a little bit of trouble, like when Matt Gaetz when he was being investigated by the House Ethics Committee, talking about they're trying to destroy me. Here, give me money so I can keep working for you. How are you working for them when you're not doing anything for them? You're not doing anything. You're not helping. You're not passing any laws or legislation to help them. I mean, all you're doing is making noise for the sake of making noise and making money on top of it. So, what's the point? How are you helping anybody? Nobody is being helped. And it just makes I don't know. I just don't know. I can't wrap my head around any of this. I just can't. Oh, of course. Of course. And they want to raise too. You know, see, the thing that gets me about all of this, it is frustrating. It is. The one thing that gets me about all of this is that when I was younger, I was actually a reporter. I used to work for a newspaper in my hometown, but my beat was more entertainment because that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. And every once in a while, I would do something on politics, like a man on the street story. And one of my friends from college, he actually got a job at my job, and politics was his beat, because he was writing politics when we were on the school paper in college. You know, he was doing politics even back then, and he's still doing politics now, just on a local level. And uh, back then, I gave no interest. You know, when I was working, the biggest scandal was the Lewinsky scandal, and truth be told, I really didn't care. I knew presidents were having affairs. I mean, we all know that JFK was getting it on with my girl Marilyn Monroe. You know, we all know that. Everybody knows that. So that was like no big thing. I mean, it's a big thing to their spouses, but me as a regular citizen of this country, I don't care. I don't care who does what. As long as it's legal and it's between two consenting adults, I don't give a shit. If you have a problem within your own marriage, that's on you. But as long as you take care of me and mine in the government, hey, have at it, Hoss. Do whatever you want. Do what you like, as we used to say, the song you say back in the day. Uh, 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 but this group of people, this group of people, for all their fooling around, for all of their bluster, for all of their getting on social media, and how have they helped any of us as just regular people? And the thing that I don't get is why we keep having this cycle. Ever since I was a teenager, I would see the Republican Party going all the way back to Reagan, which I never understood his trickle down economics, which sounded so incredibly stupid. The thought of, if you give the rich the money, they'll share it and it'll trickle down to the lower class people. And as Christopher Titus said, even the lower class was like, well, that sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Because it is. You really think someone who is greedy, who has all the money in the world, is going to want to share it with somebody who doesn't have much? This isn't This isn't Patty playtime. This isn't let's make nice. Let's share. They're not going to do that. They didn't do it before. They didn't do it then. They're not going to do it in the future. That's just how it all is. Exactly. And a part of me wants to buy his new special, but I pay enough. I'm just going to wait until you can stream it regular. But he's right though. He's right though. The trickle down economics theory doesn't work. But see, Biden had been in Washington for 50 freaking years. The guy has seen everything. He saw everyone. And his little sneaky little brain just took notes. And he kept saying, yeah, well, this president did this and it didn't work. That president did the other and it did work. And, he just kept, taking little notes and, making little mental notes to himself for 50 freaking years. So when he finally gets into the White House, he takes the lessons that he learned and he applied them. Now, was he the perfect president? No. Again, I say he wasn't the perfect president, but he was better than the trash we had before and the trash we're going to get. And what I still don't understand is the fact that why we keep having to have this cycle for 40 some odd years, going back to the late 70s, early 80s, when the Republicans are in the White House, everything gets screwed up. But the rich gets richer. And then the Democrats come in and they clean up the Republicans' mess and everything gets stabilized. And then they're in for 4 to 8 years. And then another set of Republicans come in and they screw things up royally. And then another Democrat comes in and they fix what was screwed up from before. Why does this have to keep happening? When we had the Reagan Bush years, they fucked everything up. But those who were rich said, hey, we love it. We got money, so we're fine. Then Clinton comes in. He cleans up the mess from Reagan Bush, leaves the country with a surplus, a large surplus. His 8 years is up. Bush Jr. comes in. Bush Jr. eats up that surplus like Pac-Man eating up little white balls. Gobble, 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 gobble. Just swallows them all up. Country is all messed up again, especially after you have Hurricane Katrina. Then Obama comes in. Obama cleans up the mess that Bush made, and everything is fine. And then Trump and his racist ass, he comes in. And why did Trump run? I'll tell you why he run, for those of you who don't know. His dumb ass got embarrassed by Obama at the White House press club dinner. Because Obama got sick and tired of him talking about his birtherism bullshit, which he tried to blame Hillary on, which was the worst lie anyone could ever think of. Oh no, I didn't say it. It was crooked Hillary. She said, no, you dumbass, you've been saying it the whole damn time. And he showed the Lion King video just to show him up, and it embarrassed him so damn much that he couldn't believe that this guy got into the White House and did a good job. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to be president. And that's why he got in, because he was fucking embarrassed. That's the whole reason why he ran. And what did he do? He fucked up the country. And then he fucked up the country, and Biden comes along, and Biden cleans up this mess. But because idiots in his own party kept saying, well, you're too old, Joe. We need to get young blood. And what they were trying to do was they were not only trying to get rid of Joe, they were also trying to get rid of Kamala. And he said, no, I'm not having that. And he put Kamala in. He gave Kamala his endorsement. And she ran like wildfire. But I still don't understand how she lost, with the exception of, and I know that if my mom and my aunts were here, because they're all on the other side, they would all say the same thing. Baby, it was all about keeping a black woman in her place. That's what that election was. They would rather have a stupid, white, old man who's not all there and did it poorly the first time around. They would rather have him in the White House than the capable black woman, half black, half Indian, half black, half Asian, excuse me. They would rather have him in the White House than her. Never mind the fact that she's capable. Never mind the fact that she's smart. Never mind the fact that she was a DA. Never mind the fact that she was a senator. Never mind the fact that she was vice president. Never mind all of that. She had more expense. She had more experience than Obama. But no, it was about keeping them in their place. That's why you had dumbass shows like Nick Fuentes talking about, we men win again. Your body, our choice. And now you see what's happening to his ass. Oh, he's the epitome of fuck around, find out. Oh, and he is really finding out right now, isn't he? Whining like the little he bitch that he is. Now he's all pissed. I got doxxed. Well, you dumbass, what do you think you did? What do you think was going to happen? You basically shit on half of the people in this country, women. You shat on them. What did you think was going to happen? What do you think? But like I said, what I don't get is I don't get why we have to keep having this cycle. Can't we just have somebody be in the White House who does good for everybody and wants to see everybody prosper? Why do we have to have one group on top of another group? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah, you too. Yeah, I got to get some dinner myself. So, yeah, I've been doing this now for about an hour and a half, and I'm not going to figure anything out. This is fun. This has been fun. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, OG Adam. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everybody who came here. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going to try and do this again some other time. So, thank you very much, and peace be with you. And next time, maybe I will talk about anime. I'm still trying to feel my way around this. I'm trying to, decide which way I'm going to go with this, because I'm going to step up my YouTube game and my TikTok game. Anybody out there, still out there, you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Instagram, although I don't use Instagram as much as I used to. And I'm tapering off of Twitter. But my Twitter name, I think, is the same as my Blue Sky name. Jetson Blade on Blue Sky, Robin's Egg here in YouTube, Lady Robin, I think, on Facebook, and Robin, I think just plain Robin on TikTok. but you can find me. You can find me on those four platforms. So thank you very much to all of you. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, because Hanukkah is fallen. I love it when Hanukkah and Christmas smashes into one another. It's great because I don't like seeing anybody left out, and I just love it when the two holidays collide. Happy Kwanzaa to all of my African Americans who celebrate Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. And like I said, I am trying my best to feel my way around with this. I may concentrate on politics. I may concentrate on anime, or I may concentrate on a little bit of both. I'm going to try and live stream some more. Um, I'm going to start making more videos. I might start using Leonardo AI, maybe. I haven't quite decided yet. But whether it's animated or what, you will be seeing me in the new year. Uh, my channel was a Michael Jackson channel. I feel as though I've exhausted that topic, but something related to Michael comes along, I will talk about it. And I guess that's about it. And I thank you very much for all of you being here. And hope we get to do this again real soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye bye.